You are watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am Marshall Green. In today's video, as NBA free agency has somewhat slowed down at this point, the Knicks already made a couple of moves. They traded Obi Toppin for those 2 future second-round picks, and they signed Donte DiVincenzo to that 4-year, $50 million deal. Since the Knicks are now hard-capped at this point, they can no longer use that biannual exception that we talked about on the channel of $4.5 million. So if they want to sign someone in NBA free agency, it would have to be for the veteran minimum. So let's shift our focus from NBA free agency to potential trade packages. And we're talking about superstar trades at this point. How can the Knicks make a blockbuster trade happen? Well, they have the most trade assets, or some of the most trade assets in the NBA. They potentially have 4 first-round picks in 2024. They have 2 first-round picks in 2025, their own in 2025, as well as a top 3 protected pick from the Milwaukee Bucks in 2025. At this current juncture, the Knicks have 8 tradable first-round picks, and they have 10 first-round picks in the next 7 years. So when you talk about the 4 first-round picks that they have in 2024, they have the Dallas Mavericks pick, which is top 10 protected. They have the Detroit Pistons pick, which is top 18 protected. They have the Washington Wizards pick, which is top 12 protected. And, of course, they have their own first-round pick. If they want to make a blockbuster trade, they absolutely have the assets to do it at this point. Will they do it? Should they do it? We're going to explore it, and who could it be for? We got 5 blockbuster trades and trade targets that we're going to break down in today's show. But first, I need you guys to subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/KnicksTV. We put out videos every single day on the New York Knicks. We legitimately are your one-stop shop for everything New York Knicks. We were live for free agency day 1. We were live for free agency day 2. I went home. When I came back after Donte DiVincenzo signed, we went live again. If the Knicks make a move, we're going to make a video. So subscribe and turn your notifications on. If we're talking blockbuster trades, the first player I would like to see the Knicks make a blockbuster trade for is Mikal Bridges, the forward from Villanova, drafted by the Phoenix Suns and now a member of the Brooklyn Nets. Why do I have him on there? Because he's a great player, but I'm trying to complete the Villanova Knicks. I mean, look at this. You got Jalen Brunson, you got Mikal Bridges, you know Donte DiVincenzo and Josh Hart played with them back at Villanova. And I'm not going to say it's just impossible because the Knicks, they've got some people recruiting already. Josh Hart tweeted at Mikal Bridges after Donte DiVincenzo signed. He said, "Yo, bro, answer your phone." And Mikal Bridges, he entertained it. He quote tweeted and had that gif of Josh Hart walking around. He's just like, "What are you looking at? What are you looking at?" So then you have that. But also, you have Jalen Brunson on Team USA. You got Josh Hart on Team USA. And you also got Mikal Bridges on Team USA. Remember when the Big Three formed for the Miami Heat back in 2010? How did they say that relationship started with Chris Bosh, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade? Team USA. There were reports that the Team USA bond between Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal started with Team USA. I know this much. Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, they are going to be recruiting Mikal Bridges with Team USA this summer. And he's a great player. And he's someone that I would love for the New York Knicks to trade for. He really raised his level of play with the Brooklyn Nets this past year. He was great in the playoffs for him. I think actually with the Nets, he was averaging like 26 points per game in the playoffs. But in totality, with the Nets and the Suns, the guy played in 83 games. Look how durable he is. He hasn't missed a game in over 2 years. And he hadn't played in less than 72 games in the past 4 seasons. This past year, though, 20 points per game, 3.3 assists, 46.8% from the field, and 38% from downtown. But it goes so much beyond just the offensive numbers for Mikal Bridges. He's a guy that I think is one of the best wing defenders in this league, standing at about 6'7", 6'8", about a 7-foot wingspan. He can guard other teams' best players on the perimeter. He's an underrated passer, and he's just got that chemistry at this point with those guys. So what do we think about this trade idea right here? RJ Barrett and 3 unprotected first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. Do you think the Knicks would do it? Do you think the Nets would do it? This would be my first offer, and I'm going to be honest, I don't even know if this is enough for Mikal Bridges. I think the Nets would probably say no to this deal. Maybe you have to go up to 4 unprotected. Maybe it's got to be RJ and Quickley. Maybe it's got to be RJ and Grimes. But this is the trade idea that we saw on the internet today that we're talking about on today's video. Do you want Mikal Bridges on the Knicks? Do you want to see him play for the New York Knicks? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I want to hear from you down below. Other trade candidates and superstar trade candidates and blockbuster trade targets. Zion Williamson from the New Orleans Pelicans. The Knicks have been linked to Zion Williamson even before the NBA draft lottery when the New Orleans Pelicans got that first pick in the NBA draft. He's a special player, man. There's no doubt about it. But the injuries, the weight, the wanting to be great, the lack of just playing basketball is a problem. But you look at what he did in that 2020-2021 season where he played in 61 of the 72 available games. The guy gave you 27, 7, 4, and 61% from the field. He was legitimately one of the best players in the NBA that season. When he plays, he's great. Thing is, he doesn't play all that much. In his career, he has missed 194 games. His rookie year, he missed 48. Second year, 11. Third year, 82. And this past year, he missed 53 games with a hamstring injury. Is he faking the injury? Is he selling the injury? Does he not want to play for the New Orleans Pelicans? I don't know. And then he had the Mariah Mills stuff earlier this offseason. It just does not look good around Zion Williamson. There was rumors that maybe they could trade him to the Portland Trail Blazers to get up to the top 3 and select Scoot Henderson. So what about this trade idea? Julius Randle goes back to the Pelicans. We'll give you Immanuel Quickley, and we'll give you 1 unprotected first-round pick. I think it might cost more than this. It probably would cost more than this. I would add actually another unprotected first-round pick, but that is the furthest that I would go for Zion Williamson. If you are going to make an all-in trade, what about trading for a guy that has all-world talent? What do you think? Would you make this trade? Would you trade Julius Randle Quickley and 1 unprotected first-round pick for Zion Williamson? Let me know what you think down below. Type A for accept, type D for decline. I'm curious what all the Knicks real ones have to say. The third player we're talking about in today's blockbuster trade video, what about Joel Embiid? The Knicks were heavily linked to Mr. Embiid, the MVP, earlier in the offseason. Bill Simmons thinks that this is the top trade target for the Knicks, as well as Tim McMahon of ESPN. And look, the regular season stats are awesome for Joel Embiid. This past year, when he won MVP, he played in 66 games, gave you 33 points per game, 10-plus rebounds, almost 2 blocks per game, and was 54.8% from the field. 33 points per game on 55% from the field is incredible. And he was incredible in 2021, 2020, and 2019. The thing with Embiid is he has never been the same type of player in the regular season that he was in the postseason. Remember, we just showed you he averaged 33 points per game in the regular season, and that fell down to 23 points per game this past year. And he only averaged 23 points per game the year before that. So it's not just that he doesn't play as well in the playoffs. He also just misses a lot of time. The injuries are concerning with Joel Embiid. He missed 16 games this year, 14 games last year, 21, 22, and 18. And honestly, I don't really have that big of a problem with him missing 22 games or 18 or 21 or 14 or 16. But I can't afford for Joel Embiid to miss playoff games. And he's done that too often in his career. He's missed 5 playoff games due to injuries in the last 3 years, 6 games in the playoffs in the last 5 years. That's a whole lot of missed primetime basketball. But what could the Knicks offer? Could the Knicks make a huge trade offer for Joel Embiid? Let's say Harden gets traded to the Los Angeles Clippers and the Philadelphia 76ers either miss the playoffs this year or lose in the first round this year in the playoffs. The big fella could be upset. Mitchell Robinson, RJ Barrett, and 4 first-round picks. I'll make 3 of them unprotected. If they want Quickley or Grimes, I'm going to take away a first-round pick, but this would be my first offer at least. Robinson, Barrett, and 4 first-round picks. Another blockbuster trade candidate. What about Giannis Antetokounmpo? I know a lot of people are like, there's no way, no how Giannis is being traded. Well, then why hasn't he signed that contract extension yet? If Giannis does not sign his contract extension before October and before the season gets rolling, those rumors are going to heat up. This is what Ian Begley of SNY had to say about Giannis. He said, who would the Knicks pursue next season if they don't make a big move this offseason? That's unclear. But it's worth noting here that several teams are keeping an eye on the situation in Milwaukee concerning the future of Giannis, as we've previously noted. Antetokounmpo is eligible for an extension with Milwaukee this summer. Financially, it makes sense for Antetokounmpo to wait on signing an extension or new contract. I don't know if the Knicks are one of those teams keeping an eye on the Antetokounmpo situation, but I'd imagine most teams are monitoring it. And if it is true that teams are keeping their eyes on the Bucks and that Giannis doesn't sign that contract extension before the season starts, the Knicks should go absolutely all in on making a move for Giannis. Is he the best player in the NBA at this point? I think you can make an argument for him. I think Jokic deserves that honor right now due to winning the NBA Finals and being the MVP. But Giannis just did that 2 years ago as well. Didn't play all that well in the playoffs this year, but he did miss time due to injury. So I'm not going to hold that too much against him. But, man, look what he did in 2021 and 2020 in the playoffs. 30 points per game, more than 12 rebounds, more than 5 assists in elite efficiency. If he is ever available, Knicks should absolutely go all in. I remember I posted this tweet one time of a trade idea for Giannis, and I got absolutely trashed on the internet of people saying, no, I wouldn't do this. No, I wouldn't trade Mitchell Robinson, RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, 4 unprotected first-round picks, and 3 protected first-round picks. I would do it. I would offer it. You get Brunson, you get Giannis, and you figure it out after that. Is it a lot? No doubt. But there's not many better people that have ever touched a basketball at this sport than Giannis. So I would do it, no doubt about it. But I want to ask you, who do you think is the winner of this trade? Who wins this trade? The Knicks get Giannis. They give up Mitch Rob, RJ Grimes, and Quickley, 4 unprotected and 3 protected. Who wins this trade? Type NYK for the Knicks. Type MIL for the Milwaukee Bucks. I want to hear from you who wins this trade. We got one more blockbuster trade to get to, but we have an awesome deal going on right now. When you go to chatsports.com/realknicks and use the promo code SummerVibes20, you can get a Knicks Now Real One shirt for 20% off. Chatsports.com/realknicks and use the promo code SummerVibes20 and get a black or a blue Knicks Now t-shirt for 20% off. The last blockbuster trade candidate we're going to talk about on today's video is Zach LaVine. We know that the Chicago Bulls have been making or taking calls at Zach LaVine for Zach LaVine at this point. Doesn't sound like his value is as high as what the Bulls thought, but man, is he a good basketball player and a special guy on the offensive end. Hasn't averaged less than 24.5 points per game in the last 4 years. He's played in 85% of ball games over the last 5 years, so the injury stuff around LaVine, and people call him an injury-prone player, just quite literally isn't true. But what's most attractive, he can knock down the outside shot at some of the elitist clip in the NBA. Catch and shoot three-point percentage, 41.6. Pull-up three-point percentage, 34.2. And he's an elite player at attacking the basket. When he's 10 feet or less from the cup, he converts at a 62.7% rate. I believe Zach LaVine in a backcourt with Jalen Brunson would make the Knicks one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. But it's not going to be cheap to trade for Zach LaVine. I think you'd have to give up RJ Barrett, Evan Fournier as a salary cap matcher, and then you trade in 1 unprotected pick in 2025, and I'll give you 2 protected picks. I'll give you that 2024 Detroit pick, which is top 18 protected, and then in 2025, I'll give you the Milwaukee pick, which is top 3 protected. So this is my trade offer for Zach LaVine. We've talked about 5 players on today's show. And I want to ask you this question. And think about the trade that we talked about in this video as well. So don't just pick the guy that's the best player. Think about the cost and think about the player and let me know which one do you want to trade for. Is it the Mikal Bridges deal? Is it the Zion Williamson deal? Is it the Joel Embiid deal? Is it the Giannis deal? Or is it the Zach Levine deal? Type their initials down below on which trade you want the Knicks to make. As always, thank you. I appreciate you guys for sticking with us. I know some people are going to say, this is unreasonable. This is impossible. How is it going to happen? Look, they're blockbuster trade ideas. That's what we talked about in today's video. I hope I didn't upset anybody too much. I appreciate you rocking out with us. We'll see you later.